What's up, everybody? Big Herc, Prison Talk live stream. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I had a good weekend. I have a good weekend every weekend. I'm free. I'm enjoying my freedom on the motherfucking streets, so I have no complaints. I get to hang out with wifey and do some fun stuff with my cars and, you know what I'm saying, just kick my feet up out here in Cali. If you haven't had a chance to check out our website, check out the Fresh Out website, which is freshoutseries.com. We got some cool stuff on there. We got shirts. We got one-on-one consulting available. We have the Yard Time pre-workout is back. Check it out. If you haven't got a chance to check it out yet, check it out. We got the Yard Time pre-workout is back. Really, really good flavoring. We got tropical pruno. We got orange hooch. We got candy hooch jumping off. So make sure you check it out. Go to www.freshoutseries.com. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the little bell on your computer screen so that way you guys can tune in and get all the latest videos. We have a lot of cool prison talks going on. With the Canadian Prepper, we've been doing some stuff with him. Check his YouTube out, Canadian Prepper. Shout out to him. Also shout out to Moshe Kasher. I just did the podcast with him last week. Had a lot of fun. You know, very cool podcast. You can check out his Instagram. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out our Instagram, it's Fresh Out Series, and also our Twitter is Fresh Out Series. You know, we got some cool stuff coming up. We got some cooking videos with Rod Godbody. You guys seen his interview on here. We got some cooking videos coming up with him. Chef V's been kind of busy. He lives kind of far away, so I haven't been able to link up with him with some new cooking videos, but I do have some videos with Rod, and the Prison Spreads is going to be jumping off again. Also, the car hustle is going to be jumping off. I'm going to show y'all how to flip an old school into a Bentley. You know what I'm saying? I got the old school Chevy. If you haven't seen that, check out the Chevelle at Big Herc 916 on YouTube. You can check out that channel. I got a lot of car stuff on there. And you can see the car hustle jumping off. I'll break down how to take a car, how to flip it, how to make money, and, you know, make it happen. Today's Prison Talk live stream. Interesting story. LA County Sheriff's Deputy, veteran of 10, been on the force for 10 years, is accused of raping 2 women at an LA County jail holding facility. Yeah, apparently one of the women reported the incident to a teacher that worked at the facility, and they immediately did a lockdown, and they found that, you know, I guess there was enough evidence, whatever she had as far as evidence. Maybe it was the Monica Lewinsky thing where she had some cum stain on her fucking uniform, or maybe in the vagina, whatever the case may be. But there was evidence enough to arrest this gentleman, and he's currently out on $100,000 bail. Now, you know, this type of shit, man, you know, it goes down all the time, but it rarely gets reported. So, you know, I wanted to bring this to light. You know, we always talk about, like, people in jail, and people think, oh, man, they're being punished. They deserve what they get. Well, do these women deserve to get exploited and, you know, subjected to sexual acts by male guards? You know, what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about this individual taking advantage of these female inmates? And like I said, you know, these guys supposed to have a higher responsibility than an individual in prison or in jail. So if you're taking on that oath of office, that duty, you're supposed to not exercise that power above and beyond what you're supposed to. You know, it's abuse of power. You know, I mean, you don't know if this guy was exchanging this for favors, or if he was using it to blackmail. It could have been anything, you know, but it definitely was abuse of power. And, you know, when you look at the situation, And the fact that this guy was a 10-year veteran, and this is what goes on. I mean, how do you feel about this, man? You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Somebody said they don't give a shit. That motherfucker got caught slipping. Clearly a fair exchange ain't robbery in this case. Yeah, you know, he said he probably got an STD. My mom was a prison guard for FCI Dublin. She said there was always reports of guards fucking the inmates. They mostly almost never got fired. There you go. Never got fired. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is what happens. And Dublin, if for those who don't know, FCI Dublin, I've been through there. It's a co-ed holding facility, male and female. And, you know, it's a lot of sexual shit going on. And there's a lot of, you know, female guards fucking male inmates too. You know what I'm saying? The male inmates just ain't telling. But there's male inmates fucking female guards too. I've heard of this taking place at TI, FCI, and out here in Cali. And, you know, I've heard of a lot of other places down south where the females are slinging that pussy up in there. So you guys think it's right that this sheriff is out on bail and that he'll probably just get a slap on the wrist, you know? So, and as far as him going to a yard, he ain't gonna hit nowhere major. He'd probably get probation, man. I don't see him getting no time. Not from the shit I see police getting away with nowadays, as far as just the overall sentiment that you could be caught red-handed, man, and it's still, I mean, it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same for an individual who's not a police or a sheriff, and it should be equal across the board. You know, when you look at if an individual would have did this, they would have got their motherfucking wig split. I mean, as far as just a rape situation, period. But this person exercised color of authority and basically, you know, got away with it. Somebody said, I heard like a channel. I get that jail isn't necessary to be a man now. Cops are liars. They got family members licensed, suspended for 6 months because he assaulted a police officer. Keep it up. Yeah, you know, whatever they say goes, you know, and it's sad, man. And I'm using this case right here to bring light because people, you know, I know it's hard being a police officer. I know it's hard, you know, trying to do their job in a lot of instances. But I mean, come on, man, you're running a jail facility, and I've seen the police in these jail holdups, man. These motherfuckers, man, be fucking people up, and you have no recourse if you ain't got no family coming to see you or whatever for you to report it to, and even then. They might say that you fucked off your visits. So, you know, they do what the fuck they want to do in there. And there's no oversight. There's no federal oversight, man. I mean, there was another instance, you know, not to get off track, where the motherfucking sheriff there was an FBI agent in the LA County jail, and they kept moving this motherfucker around so that they couldn't get a hold of him for over a year. So when you got people doing shit like that, how do you think the average person is going to fare in jail? What chance do they have of surviving in a jail situation when you have this type of shit going on? It's fucked up, you know? And I'm just keeping it real, man. I've seen motherfuckers get fucked up. I've seen the homie get slapped by the fucking police. I've seen people in jail, man, just because they didn't move fast enough, get their ass kicked by female guards. Female guards are just as bad. I've seen them. You know, they don't like you. I see them fucking, you know, jump on your shit. Or you a big motherfucker. You don't even got to say nothing. The fact that you just who you are, you can get fucked with. So, I mean, you know, as far as having dialogue and as far as having some type of representation for those in jail, I mean, yeah, you know, you're allegedly you did something wrong. You know, a lot of people do shit and never get caught. So for people to say, oh, you deserve it, you're a motherfucking punk. But, you know, if you're in jail, it doesn't mean that you should get exploited. It doesn't mean that motherfuckers got to take advantage of you just because you're in there. You have rights too. So what are those rights? What are the rights, man, for the females who were accused here? What is the recourse for them? So, yeah, somebody said LA County Jail use flashlights. Beat the shit out of you with a flashlight. Somebody said, have you ever seen a female guard get her wig split? Yes. At Lompoc USP, a female guard basically was trying to rile up on another male inmate, and it was count time, and she said that he didn't stand up or didn't stand up fast enough, so she cracked the doors, went in there, and proceeded to try to, like, I guess, intimidate this dude and violate a policy, and he whooped her ass. They had to call other guards in there, to basically get them up off her. But yeah, she got her ass whooped she wanted to be a tough ass. You know what I mean? She was, for a lot of female guards working in male prisons, it's an opportunity for a female to basically punk an alpha male, straight up. And it's an opportunity for weak males to punk other alpha males. And it's just a cycle in there. And, there's got to be some type of fair exchange, man. And it's a lot of that shit going on, but it never gets reported. I mean, the whole time you're in prison, it's about survival. It's about trying to get the fuck out, avoid gang shit, avoid all the other politics in prison, the racism, and on top of it, you got to try to navigate with the guards, because you got certain guards in there who just got to hair up their ass, and if they don't like you, they're going to fuck with you, man. Fuck with your commissary, fuck with your property, and maybe set up a fight for you to get jumped or something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, what if someone who has done a white-collar crime like Jordan Belfort rattled on everyone he knew on the outs? So what treatment would he get in jail? The Wolf on Wall Street, well, if he rattled on everybody, he should get his wig split when he go to prison by his homies. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing. Right? They want people they tell you to snitch, to tell on people, right? You get caught up, tell on your connection, tell on this guy, tell on this incident. And I'm not saying that you should be doing whatever you're doing anyways. I'm just saying they tell you to tell. But how many police tell on each other? How many popos do you see getting prosecuted? See, they're the real gangsters. The motherfuckers think they're gangsters ain't gangsters because they telling on each other at a drop of a dime. But the motherfucking popos is not telling on each other. These motherfuckers roll tough and they'll stand by and watch another motherfucker get some shit go down. They know it's wrong and they will not snitch on their motherfucking coworker. So that's just, a little bit of, word of advice, man. Pay attention, man. You guys talk about your gangsters and all this shit, man, but the motherfucking poles ain't telling on each other. They the real gangsters in this shit, And if they want to plant something on you, man, you better have a good-ass attorney and better not have a record. It's just fucked up, man. And even they say, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. Well, the first thing that happens whenever anybody gets in trouble is they defamate their character. They go back and look at the history of this person, and then they can say, well, because he did this in the past, it's most likely that he did what he did. And so you get fucked. So just be on top of your P's and Q's. This incident with the LA sheriff, it wasn't really talked about heavily because they sweep it under the rug with a bunch of other shit. But they did say they have a zero tolerance for any law enforcement officer who is proven to have taken advantage of anyone who's in custody. So, Scott, the guy's name is Giancarlo Scotti. He's 31. He was arrested on duty on suspicion of 2 counts of rape under the color of authority, 2 counts of oral copulation also under the color of authority. My best bet for these people who are being taken advantage like that, women, men, being assaulted, is write that shit down on paper and get it out to somebody who can make something happen. Luckily, this female had a teacher who was able to actually, take her word and do something with it. Because a lot of times, the motherfucking teacher might go tell another officer, and then you go back and they're going to split your wig because you were snitching on the popos, which I don't know how it's that, in a situation where you're being exploited, what the fuck do you do? You know what I mean? What do you do? It's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's a fucked up situation. Somebody said, you're right. It's wrong to do that. Unfortunately, there are lowlifes in the world. yeah, there's low life all across the board. And I'm not just going after the popos, but, you know, on the streets too. There's motherfuckers that are scandalous. But like I said, it's just, you get in the situation, man. And the reason I put this channel together with my partner was to educate people, to get you more informed, and so that you can make intelligent choices. Hopefully you never have to go to LA County Jail, or any county jail for that matter. It's fucked up doing any amount of time, and I would hate to see any of you guys in there, you know, talking about, hey, you know, I'm fresh out, you know, I want to do an interview. Because prison was my most horrible experience, and I've been to juvenile hall, and I've been to youth authority, so I've seen it all. It's fucked up. But let me see. I'm gonna open it up for comments. I'm looking for you guys some good comments here. Somebody who has something interesting to say. Get your block, and first time you have that key. The block said you got to pay rent, but yeah. Somebody said, what if you are a weak white boy and you had to get on your block and somebody said something about paying rent? I didn't get to see all that one. Why is male prison rape seen as a joke? Drop the soap. I thought people were equal. You know what? Getting raped in prison, male to male rape, it's not a joke, and it's not a joke to drop the soap. But people like to crack those jokes, you know. People, when you've been in prison, they like to say, oh, man, did you drop the soap in there? Oh, did you get your cheeks busted? It's like people fantasize about sick shit. It's a sick-ass fantasy, and it's not a joke, though. You know what I mean? It ain't cool for a motherfucker who goes in there who's maybe not a dominant male to get punked by another man and have his butt cheeks taken. There's nothing cool about that. And the motherfucker who's taking his butt cheeks, he's a motherfucking punk. You know what I'm saying? He needs to have his motherfucking wig split. Because anybody who does that to another male by force should be motherfucking stuck in his neck. Plain and simple. Or have his balls cut off. It's fucking sick, man. But people make jokes of it. I did a prison talk on it just because, you know, it's always something that people bring up in TV shows, movies. But it ain't a joke, man. It ain't nothing funny about dropping the soap or having somebody try to take your butthole. Big Hurt. Why do you think prisons in the USA are filled with 90% black folk? Because black folks are targeted more than anything else. And I'm not trying to say, oh, man, get on the racist thing, but plain and simple, man. You know, you got a disparity in education. You got a disparity in police patrols in certain communities. So, you know, you got a situation where economically, you got blacks in a certain situation, and educationally, you got to make just unwise choices. And so you get people who are arrested, and even if they could have beat some of these cases, they're taking plea deals because of the threat of more time. And then when you get a prior and then something else happens, now you already have a prior. Now you're going to get time for real. So a lot of times, these guys are getting multiple charges built up on them over a period of time, and then you know they plead out, or they have very poor representation, legal representation, and it's just it's a cycle, man, and it just perpetuates. I mean, the mentality of a lot of people in the neighborhoods is that they are harassed more, and and it's a fact. You go certain places, you get pulled over. For whatever reason, they can make an excuse, and a lot of times they won't do that in a white or Jewish community. You know what I mean? They won't go around and just pull people over for bullshit. Because if you have an attorney, or if you have any type of prominent background, you have a voice. And most people, Mexican, black, white, if you're poor, you have no voice. You have no way to speak out. So when you are put in a situation, a lot of times, just to get the situation out the way, they plead out, which fills up the prisons. You know what I mean? You get in there and get conditioned, and then it ain't nothing to go back and forth. You know what I mean? Like you said, take the deal or get 10 years. Do you want to be gone for 10 years from your family, or do you want to take a deal? And then you think about, well, shit, man, if I can't beat this and I get 10 years, I'm fucked. So it's a cycle, man. It's a cycle. And, education makes the world of difference. The more educated you are, not to say you won't still commit crimes, they got people who are highly educated committing white-collar crimes all day long. But they're getting slaps on the wrist. They're not getting a bunch of time. They're not going to the pen. They're going to camps. So it's a big difference, man. And if you have money, you can, money talks. Plain and simple. Money talks, man. Big Hurt, do you still talk to your two mentors from Lompoc that you mentioned in one of your videos? You know what's fucked up? My one mentor, the ex-Vietnam vet, my partner who taught me about the law, the older white guy, he died of a heroin overdose in prison. Harold, rest in peace, man. He was my, a major influence on me as far as just studying and the law. But Harold passed away in the prison, man. He had a heroin overdose and died. He had 30-something years, and he just was trying to fight, but the drugs overtook him. My other mentor, which was a black gentleman from South Central LA, very intelligent. From what I understand, he's back in prison. Caught another case. It's fucked up, man. Good dude. But just tried to outsmart the system, man. And the system, for what he was trying to do, it didn't work out. And he caught another case. So, yeah, it's fucked up situation. Both of my mentors, neither one of them, am I in communication with them, Yeah, man, but it's a lot of, it says, when something like that happens, be flooding in Houston, how do you think we could change the culture of how prison is viewed in our society? There seems to be a fantasy surrounding prison life. How can we change this, especially in younger generations? How can we change the culture? Well, for one, Hollywood promotes that shit. The music industry promotes a lot of this shit, and it's glamorized. And it's just like a subtle brainwashing programming where, if you go back and you show, instead of showing these kids toting, automatic weapons in videos and, fake drugs in videos, if you show these kids in school, on a school campus, if you show these kids like maybe doing real estate deals with people and making moves like as far as in the corporate world, if you made their videos more like the movie Wall Street or some of these other corporate movies, kids would strive for that. So it's the hip hop culture who promotes all this, I hope I don't catch a RICO, the feds and all this shit. Man, don't nobody want to, that shit, you're programmed to think that's just part of your basically rite of passage, going to jail. You know what I mean? They show videos, the guy walks out of prison, he's walking down a tier, he's talking to somebody in prison. Man, prison is some straight shit. So until they change the fucking outlook of these videos, this bullshit hip hop shit, promoting like, oh yeah, nigga, I'm doing this and doing that, until they start talking about, hey man, you can do some legitimate shit, and they show young black men in a more positive aspect, black men are going to be steadily attracted to the pill popping and the smoking weed and selling drugs and guns. And it takes a hell of a person to realize that's entertainment. It's all fucking entertainment, man. It's not real. These motherfuckers ain't doing half the shit they're talking about. So if you can get that through your fucking head, or you have your parents lacing you that this is some bullshit, and then maybe these kids will change. But a lot of these kids, they're caught up in that whole street life. You got good kids who are doing robberies because they think it'll make them tough. Ain't nothing tough about a robbery, man. Ain't nothing tough about home invasions or burglaries and shit. When you don't, it's for what? There's other things you could be doing that's positive. And that's where people fuck up. I made a lot of stupid mistakes, man. I bought into a lot of this fucking thug culture, gangster culture. I bought into a lot of it. And I was smarter than that, but I wasn't smart enough to say no and to do other things with my time. It wasn't until I got to fucking the federal prison system that I realized I had fucked my life off. So, you know, it's a lot of music because it's like puts these kids in a trance. You know, you zone out, and you got to distinguish, man. It's just fucking entertainment. All that, you know, drug dealing, talking, and all that bullshit. It's all bullshit, man. You know. Oh, Brandon Davis, you said, nigga, you dumbass, trying to rob a bank. What's the fuck wrong with you? Brandon Davis, I already talked about that. I made a fucking mistake, you dumbass nigga. I know I made a mistake robbing a bank, nigga. That's why I'm out here talking about it. So other niggas don't make the same dumbass mistake. You dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't brag about it. I would never rob a bank with my state of mind, and I shouldn't have robbed it then. But I was being ignorant, and I made a bad choice, motherfucker. Somebody says, I weigh $150 soaking wet. Would I be getting fucked up every day in the pen? Nah, it's all about how you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? You carry yourself, you know, in an honorable fashion. People are going to respect you. It's, you know, you don't have to be a big ass motherfucker. I've said it before in the shot caller videos. The littlest motherfuckers call the shots. It ain't the big motherfucker who walk around hoorah talking a bunch of shit. It's the little motherfucker, man. So you mind your business. People are going to leave you the fuck alone, and you ain't going to have no problems. You know? Yeah, somebody said you get a lot of haters on here. These scumbags have nothing better to do. I agree, man. You know, a lot of motherfuckers, you know, instead of tuning in and saying something positive, they want to try to say stupid shit. You know, I already know I made some stupid ass mistakes in my life. You know, we all make mistakes, but maybe some are more serious than others. And I don't brag about my going to prison. I don't say I'm a fucking OG. Nigga, you got to do what I did. I don't support none of that dumbass shit. It's fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I try to lace y'all so you don't make mistakes. And hopefully I can influence some young kids to do something, you know, do something different, man. If they're on the verge of doing some stupid shit, maybe they'll tell that motherfucking homie, hey, man, I'm cool. Nah, I'm not going to carry the strap. Nah, nigga, I'm not going to run in the bank. Nah, nigga, I'm not going to fucking transport these drugs for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up. Life is too short, and there's too much fun shit you could be doing on the streets rather than being around 1,000 butt cheeks in prison. Barbarians. You know what I'm saying? Don't make the same mistakes I did, man. But, somebody said, do you get accustomed to eating the food in prison serves? Is it hella nasty? You never get accustomed to prison food. It's survival, you know. The food in prison, man, is horrible. The spreads that I share with you guys on prison spreads, it's to try to make light of a fucked up food situation, you know. And I'm just showing you guys what you have in there as far as to cook with so that you can get an idea of how horrible it is to eat a prison spread rather than a fucking steak at Ruth Chris. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to go to indulge and embrace that shit. I'm showing you guys because it's comedy. And it's, you know, it's shit that we ate in there, but it was survival. And so that's actually entertainment for you guys, but it's not something I condone. I don't want you guys thinking that you got to go to prison to bust a spread. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody said no disrespect, but those prison spreads look like they suck. You know what? I guess when you're when you're behind a wall, and you know, food is your only comfort. I mean, food is like a drug in prison, and really, even though the food is nowhere near what you're getting out here as far as fast food, but you try to make the best of it. And that's all me and Chef V try to do is make the best of it. Me and Raw God Body try to make the best of it when we cook these meals. But I'm not bragging about the prison spreads, but it's entertainment for you guys. You know what I mean? To try to like put a smile on your face and show something different. You know what I mean? But nah, man, I'd rather go eat a motherfucking meal at Morton's or Maggiano's or anywhere else, man. Besides a fucking prison. Big Herb, what are some of the different similarities between jail and prison? I did a 7-day stint in jail. I know some shit, but I'd rather learn more game from you than on the yard. Jail and prison, man. Jail is a transition. You got guys in there drying out, you know what I mean, who are maybe drunk or homeless, you know what I mean, that got picked up on a sweep, or people who are violating parole, violating probation. And prison, where people live. People are there for the long haul. You know, it's out in the middle of nowhere. You got a lot more politics going on. You have to, you know, a lot of times choose a side, and it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Jail, you can pass through and go home real quick. Prison, you're going to be there for a minute. You know what I mean? You're going to be there for a minute unless you beat your case or whatever the case may be. But, you know, the difference between jail and prison, both of them are fucked up. So overall, both of them are horrible. You know what I mean? So you don't want to really visit either one. You could be in the county jail fighting your case for years, depending on what kind of case you have. Somebody say, let's say you can't fight. It's your first day on the block, and the guy with the keys to the block says you got to pay rent, but you ain't got no money. What do? You might have to split his wig, man. You know what I mean? If you can't fight, and a motherfucker comes up to you and presses you for cash because he heard that you're a baller, you know, I've seen one or two things happen. You know, either the guy checks in, or the dude trying to press him gets fucked up. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have, you know, a motherfucker who thinks they can punk you, and you got to let them know you ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, but you got people in there who prey on weak, and you got to let them know you're not weak. And that's just part of, you know what I mean? That's just part of prison life. Somebody said, what's a stinger? A stinger is a device used to heat up water in prison. And it's usually connected to an outlet, or sometimes you can use a battery pack. You put it in the water, and it sends a surge into the water, which causes the water to boil within seconds. And you can use that water to heat up, to cook your food, and whatever else you want to eat. You know what I mean? Because hot water is a valuable commodity in prison. Brandon Davis, I was in Lompoc with you. I don't remember you. And you were just talking shit about the bank robbery shit, and so I don't know what to tell you, man. Somebody said 85 miles for clients will be coaches for the UFC fighter. Her cheek camp, but probably keeping the whole wig. You wouldn't get more time if you split the guy's wig. But wouldn't you get more time if you split the guy's wig? Self-defense. You know what I'm saying? Self-defense, man. You don't want to be a snitch and go tell the guard that this guy's trying to press you, because then you're going to really be in some shit. So, you know, you gotta create a situation. If the motherfucker, you know, is trying to take advantage of you, it is what it is. Somebody says, where exactly do inmates fuck guards? Or guards fuck the inmates? Blind spots. There's mock closets. There's storage closets. There's blind spots in the pen. So there's places where the cameras can't see. So believe that. It goes down up in there. You know what I mean? Just like the LA County Sheriff guy. He was, you know, busting cheeks up in there and getting head. You know, and apparently it wasn't on camera. So until she told on him, they didn't even know what the fuck was going on. But hey, you guys, it's been fun chatting. And I want to get the shout-outs in. Somebody said, what was it like being locked up with SIBO? I was with SIBO and Juvenile Hall. And this was back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with a lot of cats from 29th Street. You know, I remember before he even came out with an album, he used to be rapping in there. And he said he was gonna get into the rap game. And he was tight back then. He used to do raps in the classroom, and he was killing it. The nigga had skills, and I always knew that. I mean, with that type of talent, it's just a matter of time. And sure enough, and you know what I'm saying, and in the 90s, he you know, in early the 90s, he killed it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to SIBO and 29th Street. Shout out to Natomas. Shout out to Lachlan, Oklahoma. Shout out to Queens Island, Australia. I wasn't in there with Pooh Man, but I've I heard of them, but I wasn't in there with them. Shout out to Riverside 951. Shout out to the Boogie Down Bronx. Shout out to San Luis Obispo. Shout out to Richmond, Virginia. Shout out to Melbourne. Shout out to 916. Shout out to the Queens, New York. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to B-More. Shout out to Long Beach. Shout out to Vandergift, Pennsylvania. Sylmar, California. The 909, 916, the 818. Shout out to Montgomery, Alabama, to the 562, to Sweden. Shout out to Jackson, Missouri, Mississippi. Shout out to Tampa Bay, Florida. Shout out to Tacoma, Washington. Shout out to East London. Shout out to Chirac. Shout out to 559 Fresno. Shout out to Banning, California. Shout out to Hayward. Shout out to Sacktown. Shout out to Jackson, Missouri. Shout out to North Carolina. Shout out to LA. Shout out to Winnipeg. Shout out to San Andreas. Shout out to Ohio. Shout out to Richmond, California. Shout out to the ATL. Shout out to Naples, Florida. Shout out to 317, Napetown. Shout out to Colton. Shout out to everybody who tuned in, who keeps it real. Shout out to Hawthorne. Shout out to the 213. Rochester, New York, the 585. Shout out to Houston, Texas. Rochester, New York. Guyana. Shout out to Northport, New York. Shout out to Cleveland. Shout out to Nigeria. Shout out to the 865. New Bern, North Carolina. The 216, the 676. Orange Mountain, Tennessee. Shout out to everybody, man. I had a great time talking with y'all. I hope I laced y'all on some more game. Shout out to everybody who's doing something positive, and to those out there who are, getting their shit together. And, hey, man, I just try to bring light. I'm not hating on law enforcement. I'm just trying to share information, and hopefully this creates better dialogue so that a lot of this bullshit stops. There's no need to beat a nigga up in prison. There's no need to assault females in prison. Everybody deserves to have rights. Everybody deserves equality. You know what I mean? You ain't got to take nobody's booty. You ain't got to exploit a motherfucker. You could treat a person human, and just because they're in jail doesn't mean they should be punished. You know what I mean? It's punishment enough being away from your family. If you're not in there fucking up, then why are you fucking with a person, man? So, hey, man, I'm out. To all y'all, next week we're going to do Prison Talk on Tuesday. So it will be Tuesday the 26th next week. I'll be doing Prison Talk. So it won't be Monday the 25th. It will be Tuesday the 26th, 3 p.m. California time. Hey, man, you guys do something positive with your life, man. Don't let a motherfucker have you on some bullshit time, and make sure you make intelligent choices. You always got a choice, man. You ain't got to do bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to listen to these dumbass motherfuckers trying to get you caught up because they ain't got nothing else going on for themselves. Be smart, love your family, love your kids, man, and enjoy life, man. Fuck prison. Everybody say it. Fuck motherfucking prison.